my name is Marie, welcome to my channel, and welcome to another speed build. So for today's video, I'm back with another small business venue. So this is one of those venues that I didn't actually attach a house or an apartment to this one. This is just the small business venue. And then you can purchase this away from your home lot and then travel here and run it as a small business if you have businesses and hobbies, the expansion pack that is. And today we're actually building a daycare, and I'm so excited about this because this has definitely been a long time coming. Ever since businesses and hobbies came out, people have been very excited about the fact that you can sort of run a functional daycare in a way if you use the right business activities and you hire some employees and you tell them to you set the right employee tasks and stuff. It actually works surprisingly well. We did play test it for a little bit. When I finished the build over on stream, we play tested it for a little bit to just see how things would run, sort of. So for about I want to say 15 minutes or so, we tried to run a daycare with just one sim, and with just one sim, it was already getting kind of difficult. And in this save file, I don't even have that many sims because I always just delete everyone when I'm taking screenshots in this save file because everyone's always in the way. So there's not that many sims or children in this save file, but still a few showed up, and it was just really, really fun to see how technically that would work. And it's actually pretty playable, and it's just really fun. It's chaotic, but you know, kids and toddlers and infants are always chaotic in this game. I feel like you just have to embrace that, especially when you're running a daycare. I quickly wanted to remind you of my EA creator code, SimmerySims, that you can use whenever you purchase any Sims 4 packs in the EA app or on the website. Whenever you treat yourself to some new Sims 4 packs, at checkout, just fill in my promo code SimmerySims and click apply. Note that it's not a discount code, but it is a way to support me as a creator, and then that helps me create videos. Thank you so much to EA for sponsoring this portion of the video. But yeah, all that to say that it actually is kind of functional, and I feel like this build, size-wise, actually turned out pretty great. I didn't really think of that because I hadn't played any of this gameplay beforehand, before I started building. So I wasn't sure if this would be too big of a build or too small of a build. And I feel like it actually turned out pretty all right size-wise. It's not too big to where you lose everyone all the time. It's not too small to where there's no space for Sims to route around or for children to sit down and play. I feel like the size is kind of great for, for what it is. And so for this one, we are building in the world of San Sequoia, by the way, which is the world that came with the Growing Together expansion pack. I don't know, that was just the first build or the first world that popped into my head when it comes to building a daycare. I just feel like it really works in here. Also because obviously Growing Together was all about family gameplay, and also a lot about kids gameplay and growing up, and infants were introduced when this pack came out, when Growing Together came out. So naturally I felt like this was the right place to sort of sit down and build one. Of course they would look good in any world, but especially for the theme, I feel like San Sequoia works really nicely. And I'm building it here on this lot that I don't know what size this is. Would this be a 20 by 40 or something? I'm not exactly sure what size this lot is. It's very wide, and it's kind of I feel like the space or the area where this lot is located is perfect for a commercial lot like this. Also, fittingly enough, there's the splash, the water park in the back with a whale and all the splashy things, and that's just in the back, which is perfect for this. I actually also added some splash pad things to the playground of this build as well, so that's really fun. And I just feel like this lot with the road kind of going around it, it's perfect for a commercial lot. I actually did build it backwards on the lot because the way the lighting is hitting this lot, it makes it so that you can't really get any direct sunlight if you're building it the way you're supposed to, using the front of the lot for the front of your build. So I actually built it backwards, and for gameplay purposes, I think I would suggest actually placing it the right way around in your save file or on the lot if you're going to use this on this exact same lot. I would definitely suggest just rotating it to where how it's supposed to go, if that makes sense, because Sims do spawn at the front of your lot, so all the children and the infants and the toddlers, they basically spawn in the back, and then you have to pick them up and like bring them all the way around. So gameplay wise, that's not ideal. After the speed build, we'll dive into the game and I'll show you the build in real time, and then we'll do a little bit of playtesting together so you can essentially just see what I mean. But I think that would be really fun. So yeah, that's what I would suggest, but I just love how it looks facing this way, because this way we get some direct sunlight hitting the front and it just looks really friendly and sunny and just like so colorful as well. I was definitely trying to step out of my comfort zone with this one a little bit. It's very modern, it's very contemporary in that sense, and I don't really do contemporary modern builds that often. I'm not using any roofs for this one, for example. I'm using only like platforms, so flat roofs for this one. I did place a few skylights as well because I wanted there to be a lot of like direct like natural sunlight and like natural daylight like coming into the building as well, to just have it be very, I don't know, just like a very calming and inviting space. I thought that would be perfect for this one, and it's very colorful. I used green and pink for the exterior of this, and then I also used a like a wood paneling in that orangey wood tone that I just feel like is so pretty and just looks really good with these colors combined. I also placed some purple or pink, whatever you want to call that, solar panels on the roof. I thought that was nice, and also a few green roofs as well to just add a little bit of extra color. And then I'm particularly happy with the sign that I created. I actually went into the debug menu and searched for the get famous items. And then you get these really giant, like the giant freezer bunny and the giant void critters, and also that rainbow thingy. And it's just so cute. I think it's part of a set in the acting career for like a kid's show or a kid's commercial, but I think it's a kid's show and it's part of the set. And so I sized it down, I used Toolmot, and then I placed it on the front of the lot as if it was a sign, and I just feel like it is so cute. It's absolutely perfect for what we were building here, and I was so happy to find it. And that it worked so well sized down too was kind of surprising to me. So one of the first things I actually started decorating for this one was the playground. I was just very excited about that, and literally before I did anything else, before I placed any windows, well, I placed a couple of windows for like where I knew where I wanted them and like some doors and stuff. But I didn't do the floor plan for this one or place any other windows before I started decorating the playground or the backyard or whatever you want to call it. So that's what I started doing first, and it really set the tone for the rest of the build. It was just a lot of fun for me. I created this sand pit, as you can see, where I placed some monkey jungle bars. I put a slide for the little ones. I was really trying to keep in mind that we have children, toddlers, and infants probably coming over to this daycare, so I wanted there to be toys for all of them. Infants obviously don't really play that much. Well, they play a lot, but they don't like crawl around or anything just yet as much as toddlers do. Like they just like walk around and they're basically mini adults. I feel like ever since they introduced infants, toddlers basically feel like adults. They can take care of themselves. It makes it so much easier now that we have infants, because infants are just on another level. They are so high maintenance, which makes so much sense because, you know, in real life, they also are very high maintenance. But yeah, it's so silly to me how, because way back in the day, I played the 100 baby challenge, and I started playing that way before infants actually were introduced. And toddlers were the hard part back then. Like before we had infants and you played the 100 baby challenge, you can probably relate. But toddlers were the hard part. Like they were the most difficult. But then they introduced infants. I think it was before I was even halfway through. I think I was like a quarter of the way through the 100 baby challenge when they introduced them. And that's when things really started to become chaotic. That was so tough. Also because, I mean, it doesn't help that infants are still pretty buggy from time to time. Like a lot of bugs have also been resolved over the years, like ever since they've been introduced to the game, but still like they're not like, it's not the smoothest gameplay. If you know, you know. And so ever since we got infants, toddlers just became so easy. They can take care of themselves. You can control them. If you are, this is very off topic. Well, maybe not, but if you are playing the 100 baby challenge, or if you're planning on playing the 100 baby challenge, first of all, you're brave. Good luck. But also what really helps if you just lock in toddlers in a little toddler prison. That's what I would do. For infants and toddlers, I would create their little infant prisons and toddler prisons that they couldn't escape from. And for toddlers specifically, it's so easy. Just place everything they need, their beds, some toys, a potty or two. And also place, if you have Get to Work, you can place one of those like refrigerator displays and just drag some food into there every day, and the toddlers can actually grab that from the fridge themselves, from the like fridge display. They can grab it themselves, they can eat, they'll put their plate away. Like, it's so easy. You don't need an adult sim. You do need an adult sim for when you want to bait them, but like, that's it. It's so easy. And then infants, on the other hand, oh boy, they're kind of tough. They're definitely tough. So if you are going to play with this daycare and actually like run it, I feel like it's going to be chaotic, but so much fun. You would definitely need an employee. Like I said, I tried to do some gameplay with this to play test it, and I was just having one sim run this place, and it worked for like 15 minutes. But pretty quick, I realized, because I had at one point, I think I had a couple of infants and also a couple of toddlers. And at that point, I was like, okay, we're gonna need an employee and set the right tasks, because for one of the tasks, you can actually tell them to take care of infants and toddlers. That's literally an employee task that you can give them. It's so convenient and just like so fun, and it's really set up in a way where you basically can run a functional daycare, and I just think that that is so much fun. Also so we were kind of trying that out in gameplay as well. I'll show it to you in the small business system when we take a look at the build in real time. But you can actually set it up in a way where caretakers or caregivers actually drop off the toddlers and infants and children, and then the caregivers actually leave and the children stay. I think children sometimes also show up on their own. I could be wrong, but I think that happens too, which is pretty convenient. But then there will always be an adult sim there for whenever they're dropping off an infant or a toddler. But then you can actually set it so that the caregiver leaves and the kid stays. And that's what you want, of course, for a daycare. So yeah, that worked as well. And it's so silly. Like, they would drop off their toddler, like plonk it on the sidewalk, and they would just kind of leave. It was so silly. And so I had to go around the lot and like pick them up and put them inside. But yeah, I feel like gameplay wise, that would just be so much fun. I did also place a ticket kiosk because I feel like, you're gonna have to make money somehow as well. So I set an hourly rate, I think is what I did, and I feel like that really worked. I'm not sure if this will make you rich or not. I didn't play enough, long enough to actually know if, how lucrative this business would be. But if you set an hourly rate, I feel like you can definitely make a little bit of money from doing this, and that's kind of fun. So I think I sort of almost skipped over me doing the floor plan because it took me a hot second to figure out how to actually lay this out in a way where it makes sense. I needed all the help I could get from chat when I was building this over on stream, because I have no experience with daycares whatsoever. I've never been inside of one. I have probably as a kid, but I don't remember that. But yeah, these days I have no experience with daycares. I don't know what they look like. I don't know what would be convenient. I can kind of use my imagination and kind of come up with something, but it was really fun to just get some tips and tricks from people in chat that actually are very familiar with daycares. There were some people there that actually work at daycares or have worked at daycares in the past. So it was really funny to hear their stories and to just kind of hear little tidbits of what they would have. For example, these cubbies right by the front door when you first walk in. I thought that was such a genius idea. So I placed all these little cubbies from high school years, and I put some backpacks in them, some storage. Some of them have little doors. I thought that was cute. And I was just, for the main part, very excited to go crazy with color in here. I don't know. It was just such a nice breath of fresh air to use all these colors and make it as colorful as possible. I'm using a lot of pastels, but also brighter colors. So that was really, really fun. I'm using a lot of decals. This tree decal from Growing Together, I overused that one. There is a lot of different swatches, which really came in handy. But I definitely overused that one. I thought that was so cute. And then one thing I actually do know is that my nephews, I have 2 younger nephews, but I don't see them as much because they live abroad. And I do know that whenever they go to daycare, they have these like little aprons on the wall for whenever they're going to do like crafting and whatnot. And I thought that that was so cute. So I took that, I guess, for my own experience, even though I only saw it in pictures. And I put some little aprons on the wall. I thought that was so cute, like in all the different colors. And yeah, it's so cute. And this board with all the drawings on it from Growing Together actually also really came in handy. I thought that was such a fun display to like show the parents what the kids have been drawing and like their artworks. And maybe they have like theme weeks where they have different types of themes and they like do art and crafts in that specific theme, and maybe they dress up or something like that. I thought that would be so fun as well. So basically the way I laid this out is when you first walk in, obviously you have the little cubbies where they can put their stuff, but then also there is just like this main play area for toddlers and children. I want to say there is toys for each of those. And then I also have a little gated area here, which is kind of small. Ideally, I would have liked that gate, like the baby gate area, to be a little bit bigger for infants and also toddlers. But yeah, it turned out to be kind of small, and I was mainly thinking that that would be great for infants for when they're crawling around. And I feel like toddlers can also sort of use this main space. They're bigger, so not as easy to lose, if that makes sense. So I felt like that would work out. So I placed a tent and also some game tables here. These would be perfect for children. They can sit down and actually play some board games together. I thought that would be so cute. I also placed a few bookcases as well, and obviously like a couple of plushies and a couple of toy boxes. And I think I ended up placing a dollhouse. Yeah, a little dollhouse here as well. So, and I put these rugs on the floor. I don't think I've ever used those rugs before. I love that little combo of like the 3 different rugs. I think that's from the toddler stuff pack. I'm forgetting what it's called. My first toddler? No, that would be my first pet. The toddler stuff pack, I think, is literally what it's, I don't remember. But yeah, that one comes with some really fun toys and also some really fun rugs. So I decided to use those in here. I think I used them again in a different swatch in the lunch area. So I did that as well. And then here behind the little baby gate is where you can safely leave your infants. We have a couple of play mats, but then also that playground thingy, which I think is also from the toddler stuff pack. And I'm not sure if infants can use that, but toddlers can. So I feel like that would be cute for the toddlers to use. So that was basically the main play area. And after that, we have this hallway that essentially is just like a little storage space and a little hallway. So off of the hallway, we're gonna have a bathroom, a kitchen, the lunch space, and then also an office for the employees that are running this business. So I thought that would be helpful. I'm not exactly sure gameplay wise if you would actually need that, but for the sake of realism, I thought it would be fun to have at least like an office space somewhere with a couple of computers and like some bookcases and some filing and like stuff like that. So I thought that that would make sense. So down here we have a full bathroom. I thought a full bathroom would definitely come in handy because there will probably be times where you either have to bathe your infant or your toddler, because that happens where you're gonna have to bathe them. So I placed this shower tub combo in here and then just a toilet and a sink. And then we have another bathroom down here as well, but instead of a tub, I actually placed a changing table in there. I thought that would make sense. But then on the second floor, we actually have a bedroom for toddlers and infants, so they can take naps there. And I actually put another couple of changing tables in there as well. So if you wanted to, you could always swap this changing table out for another shower that would, or like a tub or shower tub combo. I think that would still work. But I think it's nice to have changing tables on both floors because, you know, toddlers and infants are going to be crawling around on both floors probably, and then it's convenient to have changing tables on either. So that's what I decided to do. And then down here we also have a kitchen because, you know, there needs to be like lunchtime. The people that work here need to probably make lunch. I feel like they do like fresh lunch every day. I feel like that would make sense. And then Maybe the kids bring their own like snacks and whatnot, and like place their lunch boxes in the little cubbies, something like that. But I feel like they would definitely, maybe not every day, but at least a couple times a week, there would be like fresh lunch for everyone. Something like that. I don't know. Maybe that's too fancy for a daycare. I've heard different stories from different types of daycares where they have to bring their own lunch or there's fresh lunch every day. Like fresh cooking every day. As I was building this over on Twitch in chat, I had all these like different stories from different daycares. So that was kind of fun to sort of figure out what I wanted to do for this one. I was definitely thinking that this would be a more expensive daycare, or like expensive maybe, I'm not sure, but like a more like high-end daycare with lots of toys and just like, I don't know, fresh food. And I mean, I feel like there would be lots of toys in every daycare, but you know what I mean. I wanted this to be a little bit more on the, I guess, fancier side of things. So that's what I tried to do. And I feel like it turned out so cute. So for the kitchen here, I'm really enjoying using these cabinets from the Dream Home Decorator pack. I haven't used these cabinets in a while, but I feel like they look really good in here, especially in that green color, because I was definitely trying to make everything colorful in here. And then the new wall tiles from the bathroom kit, the sleek bathroom kit, are so pretty. The colors of those tiles were just so perfect. Like all the swatches worked basically, but I wanted it to be sort of lighter in here. So I chose this light pink or almost like a peach pink tone for the tile on the wall. And at first I had only placed it as an accent wall, but then I decided to just use it in the entire room because it was just so pretty and nice and colorful and warm toned. So I use it in this, in the entire kitchen. The kitchen's not that big. I didn't really want this to take up too much space. Since the kids are probably not really allowed in here on their own, that would be a little bit dangerous. I did place a couple of high chairs in here, maybe for the kids or the toddlers or infants that are maybe more difficult eaters. I'm not sure. So I placed a couple of high chairs in here, and I also put a few microwaves. I thought that would make sense in here as well. And then some storage, I thought that would make a lot of sense. So I placed a few shelving units here behind the high chairs against the wall. And chat kept saying that I needed to place all the baby wipes, all the wipes and all the tissues and all the paper towels everywhere, because you need them literally everywhere. And I thought that that was so realistic. So back here in the kitchen, I decided to just create a little storage with visible like baby wipes and tissues and all the cleaning like products and I guess like the diapers and everything that I could technically find that would make sense in here. So that's what I ended up doing, and like soap and sanitizer and all those types of things. So I placed those in the shelving units. And then I also placed a cute cork board, and I put a little bench to basically fill up the space, and some aprons. I sized those aprons down because I thought it'd be a cute idea that every once in a while, one or two of the kids would come in here and like help with the cooking. I thought that would be really cute. So I placed a few smaller aprons on the wall as well to kind of reflect that there is like cooking days for the older children sometimes. I thought that would be really cute. And then here in this large room on the side is where we have the lunch area. So I placed a few round tables with different colored chairs. And I don't think they only use this space for lunch. I think they also use it for like crafting or like different types of activities. I was thinking maybe they were like very easily like foldable tables or something. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but to the point where they could like clean out the whole room and maybe use it for like different types of activities. I thought that would be kind of fun. And then in here, I also have the space for a small little kitchenette. So I thought it'd be nice for the staff to actually have a space where they can get coffee. So I decided to place down a coffee maker and another microwave because why not? We have 3 microwaves in here. And then of course, all the baby wipes, and we have this beautiful sliding door. I love that this room is connected to the playground. I also placed some picnic tables and stuff in the back or in the backyard or like in the playground area, so it's nice and connected, so they can also have lunch outside when the weather is nice in the summertime, in the springtime. I thought that would be really, really cozy and cute for this. And then I definitely had some space left here, so I just decided to place some extra bookcases. Those bookcases from Growing Together were so perfect for this build. I use them everywhere, which kind of makes sense. So I'm like continuing the same theme throughout the building. I feel like that makes sense. I also put a radio in here because I didn't really have a music device anywhere in this lot just yet, or on this in this building just yet. So I placed a little radio, and I was thinking that maybe they could turn that on and maybe do some dancing and maybe do some singing. I don't know. I just thought that that would be really cute. And then I decided to put some decals on the sliding glass door as well. I thought that would be so cute and so realistic. As I was doing this, I actually remembered from my own days at daycare where I had this teacher and she would like put the most beautiful drawings on the windows. Every season she would like put up new seasonal drawings on the windows, and I remember just being in awe of them. I can't recall what exactly they looked like, but I do remember that I was in awe of them and I thought they were so cool, and I thought she was literally the most talented artist ever. So I remembered that as I was placing those decals on the wall, I thought that was a cute little detail. And then downstairs here we also have the office. I wasn't exactly sure what to do with this space, but I thought it'd be nice to have a couple of desks in here and a few bookcases where they can keep track of their files and just like put some things in the bookcases, some binders and whatnot. I'm not exactly sure. There's probably a lot of admin work that goes hand in hand with running a daycare. I feel like there would be a lot of that, but I wouldn't know anything about it. I literally am clueless when it comes to that. But yeah, I imagine like for teachers as well, there's always a lot of admin, a lot of paperwork. So I feel like that would be the same here as well. I put up some drawings and some little crafting projects on the wall as well that were probably gifted to the teachers by the kids. I thought that would be really cute. So I did that, and I tried to still have this place be kind of colorful and cheerful and playful with different colors. I'm using my all-time favorite rug. Well, maybe not my all-time favorite rug, but my favorite rug from the new pack. Swatch-wise, I just love this rug with the colorful fish. I don't know what it is with this one, but I think it's so pretty. The pink and the yellow and the red colors are just, oh, they're so pretty. So I was excited to use that in here, and I also used a lot of Dream Home Decorator actually in this build. It really was nice for the daycare vibes. It just really worked out in here pretty nicely. So I used the desks. I used some cubbies throughout this build from that pack as well, and obviously the kitchen counters. And yeah, it just really came in handy. I haven't used Dream Home Decorator in a while, so it was really fun to sort of revisit, especially the colorful swatches of the items. So yeah, that's what I ended up doing. And then here are the desks. I just kind of cluttered it up with some stuff from the Comfy Gamer kit. It has some really cute like desk items and stuff that work nicely in here. And then I cluttered up the bookshelves. Those bookshelves are from the Refined Living Room kit, and they were so pretty in the office. They just work so well. I've been using them so much ever since that kit came out, and I just love them. They work everywhere for so many different types of rooms and offices and whatnot. So yeah, that was actually great. Then we have moved on to the second floor, which is also quite spacious. So up here you'll find two bathrooms, two half bathrooms that is. So no tubs upstairs. So if you want to bathe the toddlers or the infants, you're going to have to do that downstairs. But up here we do have a bedroom. So we have two cribs and two toddler beds here. I was going to do 3 of each first, but it was a little bit too crammed, and I wanted there to be space for some other furniture in here as well. So I ended up doing just 2 of each. I'm not sure how many toddlers and how many infants are going to show up when you play with this. I think it also kind of depends on your save file, but I'm not sure like how many Sims you have in your save file, but I'm actually not sure about that. But yeah, 2 of each can take a nap at the same time, and I feel like that sort of makes sense. I have my toddlers take naps on the play mats all the time as well. So I feel like if you have some play mats, we have some of those downstairs, so they can probably take naps there too. But for the sake of realism, I thought it'd be fun to have at least one bedroom where a couple of little ones can take naps at the same time. So I ended up doing that in here. Yeah, like I said, we have some changing tables up here, and then I also placed a cute dresser. I thought that would just make a lot of sense. And I put some really cute like wall decals in here as well. I thought the sleeping sloth on the, I'm not sure if it's sleeping, but the little sloth on the tree was so cute. And I put a few hot air balloon decals on the wall as well, and then just some decorative toys in here and some decorative like storage and whatnot. I thought that would make a lot of sense. And I also just love the colors in this room. I think it's so just cheerful, but also kind of calming. Even though I use a literal like hot pink on the wall, I feel like somehow it's kind of calming in here, especially combined with the warm woods and I don't know, the pastel colors. It's just really cute. I found this really cute rainbow decal, which is from Lovestruck. Lovestruck comes with some great decals that I just keep forgetting about, and I was so happy that I actually came across that little rainbow one. And I was able to use that in the bedroom, so I ended up doing that. Up here, we just have 2 half bathrooms for the children to use, or for the employees to use, for anyone to use really. So I did that. I also placed a potty in the bedroom, by the way. So we have 1 potty in the bedroom and also 1 potty downstairs in the play area as well. If you want to place more potties throughout, and I feel like that would make sense. I didn't really place a lot of them. Maybe you could place one more like downstairs or something. That would totally make sense. But then here we have another pretty large playroom upstairs. This one's mostly meant for the older children. So I kind of wanted this to be a creative space, but also a space that could be used as a quiet area for the kids that maybe got a little overwhelmed, or maybe every day after lunch they have like a quiet hour or a quiet 30 minutes or whatever where they just sit down and read. So I wanted there to be a really cozy reading nook here with blankets and throw pillows and some little ottomans and stuff where the kids can just hang out and read and sit on the floor, or maybe even like take a little nap on the floor if they wanted to. I wanted to place some sleeping bags in here at first, but I ended up not having the space for it, unfortunately. I think that would have been so cute if it would fit. But yeah, I wasn't really gonna fit in here because I also wanted this to be a creative space. So yeah, I did the little reading nook with the pillows on the floor. I thought that was so cute. And then I wanted to have a few creativity tables here. So I placed 4 of them back to back so they have a little crafting corner. And then I came to realize that kids can actually also do knitting and cross-stitching. So I thought it would be so cute if your Sims could actually give classes here to the children. So I placed an area in the middle where I ended up putting a couple of knitting baskets and some cross-stitching baskets, and I also put down the whiteboard because I just really thought it would be cute if Sims could give knitting classes or whatever type of classes you can give to children. I'm not even sure gameplay-wise if that would work. I know Sims can give knitting classes, so that is definitely something you could do. So that's what I was focusing on in here. So yeah, I placed that whiteboard and that really cute pink swatch. I just absolutely love that. And then here we just have sort of like a group table with a couple of chairs with 6 chairs around it. I also placed the friendship bracelet thingy where children can actually sit down and make friendship bracelets. I thought that would be so cute, so I did that, and so creative, so it was perfect for this space as well. And then I placed a couple of knitting baskets and also a cross-stitching basket, and yeah, just a couple of decorations. Also some board games in the back. I placed some extra storage here in the back where I just put down some board games. Maybe Sims or the kids can like sit on the floor and play some board games. I know that's not technically functional, but we do have game tables downstairs in the play area, so kids can actually sit down and play some board games together down there, which is really fun. And then this is more for decorative purposes, but I could totally see the kids just like grabbing a board game, sitting on the floor in the blanket area, like on the blanket, and playing some board games together. I thought that would be really cute. I also placed a nice chair in the corner, a cozy reading nook for a kid that just wants to be alone and like sit on the beanbag and do some reading. But then that's actually it for this build. So let's jump in the game and I'll show you the daycare in real time. So here we have the daycare in the game. I love the location of it. I just feel like it makes so much sense with the splash park here in the back. And then there's also the rec center over here on this lot in the back. So in this area, I just feel like it makes a lot of sense. And then, like I said, I did build it backwards. So technically this is the back of the lot. But yeah, here is the daycare. I'm obsessed with the sign in the front. I just think that that is so cute. I parked some bikes under here, so there's some children's bikes under here and some grown-up bikes over here. There's a cute bench in the front, and then I basically repeated the little mascots over here as well, and the freezer bunny in the corner over here. And then this is the playground. I mean, realistically, would probably want to close this off so the toddlers can't actually escape, you know, or the kids can't escape. But this just looked really cute, so I decided to do it this way. It's The Sims. We can do whatever we want. And then over here we have the playground. So we have a tiny little basketball court with just one basketball hoop, and then a few splash play items. I didn't have the most space out here, so I really had to narrow it down to the amount of like splash toys and like basketball hoops and stuff I was using. We do have a hopscotch thingy over here, and then also you can play some marbles. And then there's a bunch of toys here in the sand pit as well. Also plays down a couple of bugs, which I think is disgusting, but it would be really cute for the kids to learn about. And then out here, some lunch tables with some activities to kind of show that the kids have been doing some crafting outside. Before I show you the inside, let's just, you know, open the business and see what happens. I'll cheat her needs. But before the chaos starts, there's no one really showing up. Oh, there is a little kid right here that showed up. But let me just show you the inside of this. So over here we have the little cubbies when you first walk in, where kids can just leave their backpacks, their lunch boxes. We have some art on display here. This is where I placed the ticket kiosk as well. And then we have some board games and then just some toys and stuff in this general play area. And then over here is the infant prison, where I placed some play mats and just some other toys and a potty. Over here is the hallway, which I kept very simple for routing purposes. We do have some really cute storage here under the staircase. I love that. And then over here is the office space for the employees. Not that interesting, but I still feel like it suits the rest of the building. We have some like crafts and drawings on the wall and some really cute pictures. Over here is the kitchen, which kind of speaks for itself as well. We have a couple of microwaves, but also an actual stove top, so you can do some fresh cooking. There's some clutter in here, of course. We have a few high chairs and some storage in the back, which I thought was very realistic. And then over here we have this really cute cork board with, I don't know, just some like activities and schedules and things probably. Ooh, we have a kid coming in, and this mom is checking in her child probably, and then she is gonna leave and the child is gonna stay. Oh, we also have some extra children and a few little ones back here as well. I think they will be brought inside shortly. Oh, another one just showed up. See, this is what I mean. Like, you should probably turn it around when you're placing it in your own game, because now they have to walk all the way around. Anyway, I'm so distracted. We have the lunch area over here, which I just think is so cute looking. The lunchroom, where you can also do some other activities. There is a taller table over here, or infants for that matter. A small kitchenette here with some coffee and an extra microwave, and then these really cute decals on the door, on the glass. Over here is a bathroom with a changing table. And then over here is a bathroom with a shower tub combo, so you can bathe them. Ooh, we have some little ones in here as well. That is so cute. Then upstairs here we have a landing where there's not a whole lot going on here, but we do have some bathrooms over on the side for the kids, but also for the employees to use, obviously. And then over here is a bedroom for the little ones. So we have 2 toddler beds and 2 cribs and enough space for routing and also a few changing tables. Then this larger room here on the side is basically for the older children. So this is where they can do crafting, knitting, reading. They can attend classes. I feel like it'd be really cute to teach classes here. I'm not sure which classes kids can follow, but I think that would be really fun. You can do knitting classes, which we can't do because we don't have enough skill for that. But here you can do like a knitting class. It requires skill level 5, but technically that would be really cute. They can make some friendship bracelets. There's some creativity tables in the back. Someone has already been creating some crafts. And then this really cozy reading corner is just so adorable. So we have that, and then that is essentially it for this build. So at the moment, it's getting kind of late. It's like 6:30 at night. So I feel like some kids are already leaving, but you can see that she is actually like checking on the infant, seeing what they need. We have some kids playing. We have Alexander Goth playing with some blocks over here. I love that. And then this girly is she using this as a dollhouse? I did not know that that was possible. Are you picking up a child, or are you dropping off a child? Oh, he's probably dropping one off. See, there's one in the back here. So for the business settings, I obviously chose a few business activities. So we have use the activity table, play with toys, play on playground equipment, play with infant and toddler toys, and knitting. At first I had do homework there, which I think is also cute for the older kids, but I would rather have them knit. I think that would be even cuter. I set an hourly entrance fee, and then I also set target customer. customers. So I set it to supervised customers, and then I checked infants, toddlers, and children. And this one right here is the most important. You're gonna wanna unselect the caregiver stays at the business. So uncheck that one, and then the caregivers will drop off the kids and actually leave the lot, which is obviously what you want. And then you're good to go. And then for employee tasks, there's actually a care for little ones task, which is perfect. So I set that one. And then for the rest, I didn't really set anything, but I guess you could also do like be friendly, maybe be funny, something like that. Maybe cook even, but I'm not sure if that'll just make them cook for no reason all the time. But I think this works. Oh, she's actually over here feeding this little one. That is so cute. I love that. Let me clean this up for you. Not sure where you're wandering off to, but he seems like he's having a great time over here. He's gonna leave a positive review, I think. I love that for us. Anyway, essentially that is how you would run a daycare. So the Sunnyside Daycare is up on the gallery, but again, I sound like a broken record, but I built it backwards, so it looks incredibly sad. I should have probably rotated it and then uploaded it to the gallery, but you know, this is what it looks like now. I uploaded it as a small business venue, and it comes in at just under 119,000 simoleons, so you're gonna have to invest a little bit of money if you want to buy this small business. And I built it in San Sequoia on the 40 by 20 lot, so if you want to place it in your game, then that's where it goes. But that's gonna do it for today's video, so I really hope that you enjoyed this one. You can obviously go ahead and download it off the gallery like I just showed you. My username on the gallery is Simmery Sims. You can follow me on Instagram if you'd like. My username on there is Simmery Sims as well. If you're not subscribed to my channel already, feel free to do so, and if you'd like to get notified every time I upload, just click that little bell icon. I also live stream over on Twitch a few times a week, so if you're interested in that, go ahead and leave me a follow over on twitch.tv/Simmery Sims. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!